Hello, welcome to the Journey with Nicole YouTube channel. Just doing a little cleansing with some Palo Santo. We're going to get going on our pick a card, pick a crystal reading today. Today we have pile number 1. Let me just put that. Pile number 1, which is my ultimate favorite rock crystal in my entire collection. It's my ruby in Zoisite, but I always think it's in Unakite, but all the crystal experts say, nope, it's Zoisite, but I swear it's Unakite, but whatever. So ruby, and I love it, I love it. We've got Selenite and Septarian. So go ahead and pick which pile you would like, whatever one feels that resonates with you. I'm not sure why a lot of readers say don't go by what you see, go by what you feel. I am also a very, very colorfully visual person, so I automatically attract to things that I'm visually attracted to as well. So please feel free to use your visual attraction for this as well. This is part of the experience, I think. So thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and get going on pile number 1. So we'll put pile number 2 and pile number 3 aside and get going on pile number 1. Thank you so much for being here. Put that there. Okay. Well, first off, the first thing that really jumps out is there's a lot of root chakra fertility and sexual energy. So there's it's a lot of not necessarily passion, but very root chakra based. There's some confidence issues going on here. There's also some fertility, family oriented, very supportive family. But there's some self-confidence issues going on with your own personal dreams. Charoite to me that's my magical stone that I pretty much keep with me almost every day. The charoite is, but really what that stone represents is being able to come into the new you. There's a lot of rebirth energy here. The carnelian, the devil, the sun. There's a lot of rebirthing elk. And parenting and children. So there I see how your lack of confidence, almost you're getting to the point where you might burn out soon because you're not seeing certain results that have to do with your dreams, whether that be love or a certain project. The emerald is about a rebirthing as well. So it's spiritual healing, that it's almost like you are feeling a little bit hopeless. There's some kind of hopeless feeling here. And that there's certain times where you have to go out on your own. Like with the elk, they're very bonded in their pack, which is they're in the same sex. You know, they travel in same sex packs until it's mating season, and then they, it's all on. So what this is, I see a lot of supportive energy because you have parenting and children, This represents either aspect of the whole family. It's not about family harmony, because in this deck there's actually a family harmony, and that would have come up. This is more about having children and dealing with your children and dealing with parental issues, some kind of a parental type. Sometimes this can be in conflict, parental conflict with the devil coming up. Sometimes that can indicate, custody issues and divorce and stuff. But there's also there's a lot of rebirthing energy here. So it's not just about relationship and the legalities and everything of the children and everything. This is like a rebirthing of regaining your momentum, because it looks like you've been on a great momentum for a long time, and now it's time to switch gears. Like now it's mating season, and because otherwise there's just going to be some kind of ending of that's not following your whole dream aspect. I want to read from the book on this intuition. Just having intuition on this card completely underestimates the absolute beauty that this card represents. So I've kind of laid out where there's some troublesome paths, but now you're gonna see some pretty amazing. I'm gonna just look this up real quick. It is so beautiful. I can't remember what it says, otherwise I would just say it. So intuition, and this is from the Nature's Whispers book. You just seem to have a knack for knowing what's going to work. Your creative process is unique to you. You just get started and magic happens. You have a lot of endurance and you're a hard worker. Once you get focused on a project, you don't stop. You are a trendsetter and you seem to understand what people love. You are very forward thinking. You are being reminded that you have your own inner voice guiding you always. Tap into your wisdom and allow yourself this higher perspective. So I feel that that's why I think there's some self-confidence issues going on here. I mean, obviously Carnelian comes up and that's about self-confidence, but the devil is too. So I feel like you've got such a good support group, and possibly your own children or your parents, and a great family community dynamic that is a very supportive part of your journey and following your dreams. And somehow I feel like there's a slight self-sabotage work that goes in with this, based on your confidence of maybe a worthiness, if you feel like you're worthy of it all. But the what you're doing is so beautiful and so magical, and it's on such a, because Charoite is my magical stone. This is where I carry it. In fact, I just held it right before this reading. I just always have it on me, and it's to me, that's what its nickname is, the magic stone. Even though I've never read that anywhere else or anything, I just go by how I feel when I touch my crystals, and that's why I have so much crystal energy in this reading. That's why I'm able to give the information, because I'm very connected. And this is with Charoite, it's all about a magical dream, because you have your follow the dreams card. So it's like you have this magical dream that does involve some spirituality, and you're really having to dig deep within yourself for some answers. But you have this, and then you've got this great support group, and the only thing that's kind of holding you back is your confidence and your ability to allow this whole rebirthing to structure and to come about. If it's a project, if it's about fertility, it's about just, your dreams are going to come when it's time, and the fact is that you're burning out thinking about it and overthinking things so much. There's a lot of self-sabotaging work within this. But then you have the sun card, and I mean, the sun, it's all about fresh new beginnings, and the sun set and now it will rise for you. So you have this beautiful project that you've worked on, or this beautiful dream that's been a lot of energy has gone into it, and now it's getting so close to the time where it's now up to you to be that. Okay, let me tell you about the strategy of an elk. That this is going to help a lot. So the elk, if you think about it, we all have our own defense protective mechanisms, right? So the elk, when it's being chased down, and I'm sure that the book, that's where I'm getting this visual, is the book talks about it being chased by a mountain lion. Well, obviously a mountain lion is going to devour an elk, right? If it gets a hold of it. So what's its defense mechanism? It's to go to higher ground, be fast and pace yourself, because you're going uphill, up ground, right? Because they're usually up on cliffs areas and stuff, because that's where they're that's where they can manifest their ability, right? So they're going up these cliffs, and they're running up these cliffs, and they're pacing themselves, whereas like the mountain lion exerts so much energy in the beginning to catch up and to climb the cliffs that normally the elk can master, right? So what's happening is the mountain lion ends up burning out and gets too tired. And the elk, of course, comes out on top because the elk paced himself. So the elk represents a lot of pacing. So if there is a fertility issue here where you're trying to maybe get pregnant or something, that's about just pacing it and realizing you've got a whole other aspect of your life that you have to focus in on. If this is a relationship, there's a lot of sexuality that's about it. So and the elk represents, dominant sexuality, just because he's wonderful and best of buds with all his buds, except for during mating season, and then it's just a different type of energy. So but the sun card is here, and so it's all about a wonderful outcome. It's got a lot of beautiful, magical components to it, that you have quite a unique way about you in the way that you go about your dreams. You're very full throttle and high energy, full throttle. But the elk's reminding us to pace ourselves, because now there's a lot of hopeless self-confidence issues, and because you went so full throttle, if you don't take that time for some healing work, and this is heart chakra energy right here. So when we have the heart chakra energy, it's about going, just being gentle with ourselves and having like self-confidence, and keep moving forward, and don't let the dark shadows overpower the whole beauty of the whole thing. Don't let some dark parts of it ruin everything here. So take with the energy, elk energy, and pace yourself, and use your intuition to guide you, just as you have this whole time. And that's where it's really going to be super beautiful, following your dreams. It's really very, very pretty. The Charoite also represents like knowing yourself, coming into who you truly are. And maybe it's that shadow work with the self-confidence and the devil here that, you know, if you're gonna do some of that work to not self-sabotage, then maybe just that heart energy, you know, you can have that softness about you and actually be a little healing on yourself. Sometimes our readings are about how we've been wronged by others and everything, but this is about healing your heart of yourself and realizing you have major potential for all of this, following your dreams and moving forward. And don't stop right there. Just keep going, because these little things that you need to work on are just very small in comparison to the whole beauty that lies ahead. And look how she's just like looking at her dreams here. She's just like, this is all beautiful, and there's so much harmony and love there. So, and carnelian, if you know, many of you are crystal fans, everybody uses carnelian for love. It's about that love, full-on love for everything, that unconditional love. So you have a really cool project here, and or something you're really trying to manifest, maybe in your family life. But your dreams are definitely on the right track. So I say, be a little more gentle on yourself and have the confidence to keep moving forward, because that's kind of what got you to this point here. This is like rose quartz energy, needing some rose quartz energy here. I wish you well. Thank you so much, pile number 1. And thanks for choosing the ruby and the zoisite. How fun was that, huh? Isn't that just like the coolest stone? That was gifted to me about 7 years ago. I love it. I love it. Thank you for picking it. Okay, thank you, group number 1. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get going on group number 2. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, pile number 2, selenite. Chose the cleansing, clearing energy of selenite. Okay, let's get going. We've got pile number 2. Thank you for being here. Thank you. All right. Okay. Well, okay, so we have a situation that, first of all, the overall energy for the beginning and the end is happiness and empowerment through divine feminine nurturing energy. So that's great. I mean, we've got a great overall energy here. However, right in smack in the center, we have a serious tower moment, if you want to call it that, where to me it looks like something needs to have a little more clarity, possibly because we've got the zebra stone here, and to me the zebra stone represents where it's black and white, and of course it's the accountant in me that brings about that, but it's always represented like a black and white type situation. So with this being here and this snake energy here, which is about basically shedding the old skin of something for the clarity of a new type of rebirth, phoenix type energy. But the snake could also represent something more specific and resonate however it resonates with you. This deck right here I've had for over 20 years, and I'm very connected with this deck, and I am almost positive that's the only snake in the whole deck. So the fact that we have snake energy here makes me feel like there might be something else going on, and however that relates to you, I'm going to let you be at that, you know, however you want to interpret that. There's a lot of clairvoyant energy here. So I see I'm dealing with someone. You have a lot of clairvoyance coming in with this tanzanite crystal energy. This tanzanite here is extremely rare crystal, and it very rarely shows up in my readings. I use a lot of crystal energy. As you can see, 3 of the cards here represent crystal energy along with the energy on the table. So I think that with tanzanite coming up, it's a very, and the Tower card, we're talking about something on a very more of a point of reference energy. Let's put it that way. Let's back it up for a second. We have the culmination of vision here with the black and white zebra stone. So what has happened is you're on this very happy, wonderful path here. And now something has come about. We've got some kind of moment here. Something serious has come about that is causing you to redirect this whole vision of what this happiness has been and is to this point. So the fact that the problem resolved card here is here means that you're going to be you have to get very clear on what it is now. It looks like with the shedding skin of the snake energy, it's not what you had always thought it was, and now you're seeing clearly because it's all in black and white. And because of that, there's going to be some towering moments of everything kind of, because the Tower really represents the breaking down of your ego and the breaking down of beliefs. So basically something you've always believed, which because we have such happiness energy here, it makes me think that you now realize it isn't what it always was, and this snake has shed his skin, he or she, and you can now see things on a very this person or this situation or this overall energy of happiness is now different. It's now different, but you're able to get through it. You have the problem resolved card, so that there definitely is a lot of significance with the snake energy here, though. This doesn't come up very often like this, so I need to make sure that you're aware of that. But because of these cards, I see who I'm dealing with here, and I know that you have extremely high clairvoyant messages coming to you on many different levels. And with the Empress here, it could possibly be like ancestral motherly figures as well. But with this is how you've because of your clairvoyant type of gifts that you've have just recently really tapped into on a higher level. This is why you now look at your vision in a different manner, and a need to look at things more in a black and white to get focused in on how to resolve this problem. It has something to do with compassion, because that's what the card represents. But there's definitely because of all this, there's a new type of spiritual and higher level. Yes, that's exactly it. A higher level understanding and reforming and reshaping and shedding the skin of what was old and what you had thought was
that true happiness. It's now on a completely different level. The green tourmaline is a card, of course, working with the heart chakra, but it's very healing energy. So I feel that with the compassion and the healing energy, this is something on a more emotional level. It's not necessarily something to focus that, oh, well, my business isn't doing right, so I need to hone in on my, technology, or hone in on my marketing. It's not anything like that. This is more on a very emotional level, and a spiritual type of journey, showing that your happiness of what was is definitely no longer. You're with the tower and the snake, you're shedding that skin, and the problem will be resolved, but you definitely are going to need to get clarification. Like this says, the culmination of vision. You have to get very clear now and get into the details, the black and white details of the next part of the journey. Otherwise, it just stays kind of stagnant, and you'll stay in this somewhat different mode that it's like you'd be staying back with the skin of the snake instead of being the snake moving on. So I hope that part was clear. Now we have this Empress energy, which is like, oh, thank goodness, because there's a lot of feminine, nurturing, loving qualities that come with the Empress. So we have to really take that into heart, that none of this has to be on a scary level. If with these tower moments, it's really getting more beautiful with the divine feminine energy. And I love it. I really love it. It's like this moment here is, I feel like it's your beliefs, the beliefs and like the standards that you've always thought was the base and core of your happiness. Really, you've found out that that's not it. You want to fine tune it yourself because it's not settling right. And actually with the selenite energy, this is about the cleansing process and clearing things out. So, and the shedding of the skin, right? The shedding of the skin, and knowing that once that skin is shed, like, look at this, it's like the snake is right here, and it's now can be a part of the whole transformation, because that's what in the medicine card book, the snake, the word is transformation. That's what it is, and that's what butterflies are about, transformation. So we've got the butterfly wings of transformation with it's like your ship is coming in. see the ship there into calmer waters. This is like kind of a little bit high waves and a little bit stormy, and it's going to come in and it's going to be into calmer waters. So it's very, very cool. It's nothing to be frightened of when you see the tower. It's more like a breaking down of those things that you thought made up your happiness just no longer do. It's okay. That's all right. You're gonna see those distinct stripes, right? You're gonna get clear, very focused in on what you're gonna need to do to keep that internal happiness and the happiness on your journey by getting more focused in on your vision. And with the tanzanite, this crystal is so rare and so expensive, and for it to show up in your reading just shows that your clairvoyance is on a very powerful level, and that is what you're going to need to step into more in order to get the healing healing energy of your heart. Oh, I did want to mention the green tourmaline also represents healing if you have any father figure issues that need to be healed. When this comes into a reading, that means it's either time to look at that, or that there's an overall, if you can just understand that it needs to be healed, and if you have green tourmaline, to put that close to your heart, and that allows for the healing of any father figure issues, whether you're a male or female. It doesn't matter. It's about father figure issues. Doesn't even have to be your own biological father. And so that's a separate part of the reading that might be able to interact with this as well. And the reason I think of that is because the Empress, which is the divine feminine energy, so I'm like, oh, that's interesting. The divine feminine energy mixed with healing of father figure issues. So there could be something else that resonates with someone here. But getting the tanzanite is such a clear psychic type of energy that's come about. So with you getting the enlightenment card and the culmination of vision with the tower, which is the breaking down of beliefs, it makes me feel that those everything that you did know is now no longer, and you're now on a new definitive path, or you need to get into that mode of a more definitive path to shed that old skin, and because everything's now about new rebirthing and an overall beautiful happiness. So thank you so much, pile number 2. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I really, really appreciate you very much. I'm very grateful that you came for this reading, and we're going to go ahead and get started on pile number 3. Thank you. Okay, pile number 3, Septarian. Usually means a crystal that is mixed with at least 7 components. So, okay, so we're going to get going on yours here. Welcome, pile number 3, Septarian. We've got breakthrough, inner child, tiger's eye, salmon. Okay. All right, I see what's happening here. Well, one thing to note right away is we have a lot of inner child work. So let me just show you these 2 cards that came up that both actually say inner child on them. The Zoisite, which is inner child work. It's also about, Zoisite's about going in and becoming clear about who you are, basically. And since we have the breakthrough card as your first overall energy, it shows that you are coming into a new light. It looks like, first of all, you're working on something on a successful level as well. It's not just about your own personal journey, but there's some kind of success and something that's coming to full circle. And there's several reasons why I say that. Now, first we have the overall energy of the salmon. So with salmon energy, salmon is about the full circle of life, but it's mostly about inner knowing. So if you know about the salmon, it returns to the place of its conception for conception. It returns to the exact place. It's a full cycle, and it's all from inner knowing. It's a complete inner guidance, and They will go, they go against the river, they go against the current, they go through so many obstacles and so much hard work. It's a lot of work actually to come to full circle. And it looks like with this, all this inner child work, you're wanting to retreat just a little bit and wanting some answers on things before you move forward, because you have the Chariot. It shows that you're gonna, you'll clearly make your decision and you'll clearly be moving forward to finish what you set out to finish, and your full accomplishment. There's no doubt about that, because these two are basically the same card. It's you have to finish what you started and come to complete a complete cycle and complete your mission, basically. And there's the abundance card here. So I mean, as your outcome energy, so that just shows that you're just in a good place, but for some reason you're wanting to retreat. And with the Hierophant, it's almost like you and your breakthrough, you've come to some new type of spiritual awareness that you weren't aware of before. So now you have this new enlightenment, basically, and this new spiritual knowing of something. The reason it looks like you're with the past life embrace, the petrified wood here, and the inner child. I almost wonder if your breakthrough is not going to be some overcoming some either childhood memories or past life memories that in the past it has always kept you from coming full circle and being able to have this kind of outcome. And with the breakthrough, it's like you're finally, it's like you've worked so hard on this that you now realize that not going within and finding out why you can't come to the full circle is really important, because you put so much into this. And here's the key, basically the answer right there is new spiritual knowing. So you knew you had to go through this, and you knew that you had to look at your either childhood memories or childhood traumas or issues that would cause you either that or in your past life experiences that always kept you from completing this and completing what you started and finishing this full cycle here. So it looks like you're in the process, or going to be in the process, of doing some good work here on yourself. Now with the tiger's eye coming up, this is a couple different mixed messages. I'm going to bring in my tiger's eye right here. I love this one. If you can see it, it's just on the band, but this way or this way, it's just dark. It's so cool, isn't it? I love it. Looks just like that. Cool. Let's put that right here. So the tiger's eye, to me, is about pure focus and forward movement and manifestation, okay? Now, this card in this particular deck, which is the Eternal Crystal deck, it talks specifically about the divine connection with animals. And it's interesting that the animals in the past life, these two came up together. This actually came up in another reading regarding a pet that had passed, but was part of pet was a soul mate through many lifetimes, and it came as a pet in this lifetime, and that was in that reading, but these both came up together. So the fact that these two are coming up together, I can't deny that fact, especially when we've got animal energy here as well, that there might be a possibility of moving forward and completing your life and taking the direction and the motivation to keep moving forward, because you have lots of abundance coming to you, and not letting that stop you on a mental process. Sugilite also is a crystal used a lot with mental health issues. So there could be some type of, especially with the breakthrough here, you know, possibly a breakdown happened, and because of that breakdown, you've made a breakthrough and are still working on some inner child issues, but it definitely has to do with past life events and or people or situations and animals. So, but the tiger's eye to me, and when I give readings, and if it comes up with my other crystal cards, I always use that as my direct focus and manifestation, because it's, the tiger is, they're so patient. Like they know when to take the right move, which is kind of like the Chariot. It's like you get all of your knowledge and all of your knowing, and then you can relax in that and finish the full cycle, because you have all this inner knowing already. You know, the salmon doesn't stress about how it's going to move forward and where it's going to go when it's time to spawn. It has this inner knowing that is like, whoop, okay, let's go up the river. You know, it's that kind of focus and manifestation, which is the Chariot. So there's a lot of directional energy here, which kind of is, if you kind of look at it like this, let's put this down. You have the breakthrough, and see how she is like all kind of flowing and focused. And then you've got the next one, which is the inner child. It's like you've had some work to do, and you're still in the process of doing this work, but coming to the overall inner knowledge and the Hierophant, the spiritual knowledge and the base of the inner knowing is your key to the success of being able to come into this full circle of life and know that this is a completion energy, right? And with that completion energy, we have this past life energy that, you know, lets us go back and see what it is that was blocking us from all of this, because this isn't the first time this has happened. We've had lots of situations where we've been able to do this, and then we get to this certain point and we stop. We don't make our choice. You know, we know we're not going to go full circle, so we just retreat and come to our inner child and kind of like say, forget it, I don't want to do it anymore. And then it can even cause some mental issues, mental health issues. So embracing those past lives, and even our past lives within our current physical life, it's the same as childhood memories, is the same as past life embrace, and really kind of hone in and figure out and use your tiger eye abilities to be able to focus in on what it is that keeps you from this every time. It's like every time. But you've got the breakthrough card, so this is the time that it's finally going to stop. It looks like you've already started that. Like you're in the breakthrough process. And maybe just having a clearer understanding and a more focused understanding of what's going on, you can now have that green light to move forward with the Chariot, make your decisions, and make your own manifestations and manifest your own life with clear focus and direction, basically, because you're in complete control here. And I think up till this point, you were going with your inner knowing, but you realized it can be a little bit out of control, and that part's scary. But here the Chariot's letting you know you're in control and you need to focus, and then you have it. Abundance right there. The abundance card. All because you went through this breakthrough. So I hope this was helpful for you today. I thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
And I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Much love to you. Peace out.